Welcome back to the Streets channel. I'm going to show you how you can turn something like this into something like this. Yeah, that's what we're talking about. Grip tape, baby. Let's get customized and let's get crazy. So I got some help for this one just to line it up. So we're doing a slightly different design from what you just saw on the screen. So the idea is basically you want to try and get as funky as you can, but also keep it cool and not too crazy and not everywhere, so that everything's lined up. So the idea of this one is that I'm doing Bumblebee transformers. As you can see, I've got some help here. It's currently being marked out where to cut off, so we've got a nice slice there. And then basically this will just allow me to just have easy slits to basically just place down without having to kind of just cut loads of things out and try and slice things around in different places and all that kind of malarkey, which we don't want to do. So yeah, depending on what size deck you got, obviously your dimensions might be slightly different. This is being done on the Aztec Logan Fuller 6.66 wide deck. This sheet is actually only 6 wide, but because of the way that this is being done, it has plenty of space to cover it, because we're going to put a gap somewhere to fulfill whatever was necessarily going to be lost. So yeah, as you can see, the grip tape split down the middle now. We've got some luminous 3M tape here, so this is going to be a really nice effect here. It's got a little bit of a honeycomb kind of texture on the top of it, so that kind of adds to the Bumblebee-ish sort of thing. But also it's luminous, so it's going to pop really in the light and in the night and whenever there's light shined on it and that kind of thing. So yeah, cut that out so that's basically the same length as the length of the grip that's been split. We've also got some clear grip tape here, just for a graphic, so we're just measuring out the clear grip tape on the graphic now. Nice little slice there, cut that off. Make sure that looks good. That's the graphic just there that we got. That's a vinyl. However, you can just use, so the first picture I showed you at the beginning of the video, you can literally just use a printout from a piece of paper, from A4 or whatever, cut that out and then put the clear grip tape over it, and it does exactly the same job. So don't worry about that too much. But if you think that, oh, it's not going to look as good because you haven't got vinyl, you can literally print it out on a piece of A4 paper, anything you want, and stick a clear sheet of grip over it and it does the job. So yeah, we're just cutting out the clear grip tape now so that it fits exactly where we want it to over the graphic. And then we're also cutting out the sides of the deck where it sort of slits off, because we're going to have some sort of luminous tape going off the sides as well. So yeah, that's what that's going to. Right now we're working on the back of the back end of the deck to make sure that all of the sides fit. We did have a few complications with the measurements here, but we managed to rectify that later on. So yeah, we're just going out now, making that look nice, making that even. Obviously it's all measured out now, so we're just basically cutting it to the exact measurement so that when we slot it in, it just sits in there really nicely. There's no problems. It lines up with all the triangles and squares. So right now we're basically just testing it to make sure it all does sit basically the way it should be. So you can basically see the general idea there. Yeah, that looks pretty good. Looks pretty good to me. Yeah, so that's pretty much what we're going for there. And yeah, so we're going to get back into that now. We're going to basically start slicing out more bits that basically need to sit nicely on the deck. And the idea is to try and do it so that we have as much little cutting as we have to do once it's on the deck, so it just sits there nicely and it doesn't peel up or anything like that. But yeah, this is just a good way to get creative with your grip tape designs, and just kind of think about what kind of shapes go together. You can get inspiration from loads of people's Instagrams or people's Pinterest posts and stuff like that, or you could just look at loads of stuff online and designs and stuff, and then just kind of make it your own. Now what we're doing is cutting strip of clear grip tape to cover the luminous grip tape, and then I've just cleaned the deck. So we've switched out now, it's me. Clean the deck surface to make sure that it's nice and clean, that there's no debris on there, there's no dirt, there's no stickiness, no residue from tape or anything like that, because you want it to make sure that it sticks. If you have any dirt there or anything, your grip tape can easily peel up, and then once that starts, it's all over. You don't want that. So right now, I've stuck down the luminous tape in the middle, and then I'm basically just lining up the grip tape around the side of it so that it fits to the measurements that we measured prior. As you can see, it's proving slightly difficult, and then I've basically just got a wheel that I'm basically using to roll it down, so that I've got any air bubbles out, any trapped air that is in there, it gets completely eradicated. So that's the idea. So I'm just cutting up off all of the lines that we already measured, because obviously after this we're basically going to drop the second half of where the clear grip tape is going to go. So I'll just cut that down. So that should sit exactly where the luminous grip tape ends, which it does. Beautiful, nice and perfect. So everything's measured out quite well so far. So again, a little bit more rolly. Make sure it's nice and flat. Make sure the air bubbles gone. Make sure it's nice and clean, because we want to get a good grip job. We want to make sure it stays down. We want to make sure we can ride this for quite a while, because there are ways to clean your grip tape without taking it off and all that kind of stuff. So yeah, so we're laying down the second one now, and yeah, just lining it up, making sure that it fits again, making sure that it's on the leading edge, it's nice and tight against the luminous grip tape. It's not going over, it's not going up, sorry, against the luminous strip. And as you can see, I made a mistake here. It doesn't line up completely, so had to cut another strip, which essentially compensates for the gap there. So got another strip here that compensates for the gap that we mismeasured, and that will just sit in there nicely, and it should go seamlessly. So it's basically the extra bit that was accidentally cut off, so it will fit in there right, perfect, and there won't be anything looking weird. It's not like an opposite pattern. I've stuck it down the same way and stuff. So yeah, I'm just sticking that one down now, making sure that sits there nicely, and then I'm probably going to roll it again just to make sure that I've got no air bubbles and stuff. And as you can see, I'm a little bit of a perfectionist, so I've pulled it up and stuck it down so many times already just to make sure that it's exactly where it needs to be. It's in the right spot, that it lines up exactly where it was, etc, etc. So now I'm going ham again with the wheel the whole way over the whole thing, just to make sure, again, no air bubbles, no trapped air, anything like that, because we want to make sure it sticks down and it stays there. Cool, so now we've got the logo, so I'm just lining up the logo pretty much to where I want it. Once I've got it where I want it, like as you can see now, I'm peeling back the vinyl carefully. Make sure it sits there nicely, and yeah, roll it down again. Let's roll it down, come on, let's go. Alright, now I'm going to credit card it as well, just to make sure that I've got literally no air bubbles, everything's exactly where it is, and let's get peeling. ASMR mode. Kaboom, you know what it is. Okay, now clear grip tape straight over that. That's already cut out, lined up exactly where we need it to go, so that's going to sit perfectly over the top of it. Now, I'd never actually used clear grip tape before, so I didn't know what to expect. I didn't know how clear it was going to be. I thought it was going to be as cloudy as you see it now, but as you can see, as I roll it down, it literally goes so clear. So I was really, really shocked at how basically clear it was and how good it looked. I didn't think it would come out that clear, but yeah, the more bubbles you get out of this clear grip tape, because you can actually really see the bubbles on this, because obviously it's clear. If you've got bubbles, it means that it's obviously slightly whiter than it is clear. So yeah, it was actually really, really good. Really impressed with the clear grip tape actually. And this is just a sheet of mob clear grip tape that I've got. I made a little bit of a mistake there. I didn't peel off all of the back card there from the grip tape, so I'm basically just trying to get that out now. Like I said, I'm a bit of a perfectionist, so yeah, I'm just pulling out that back card shred by shred at the moment, because obviously I've just rolled it down as well, so it was a little bit difficult to get that back up. But yeah, I eventually got that back up, as you can pretty much see in the video now. I'm basically just scraping it bit by bit, but yeah, we're getting there, it's gonna go, and then when it's gone, we'll move on to the next part. So yeah, I'm even blowing it like a little perfectionist of me. Yeah, back to rolling again, make sure that there's no air bubbles, make sure everything's good, but as you can see, it looks really, really good so far. So yeah, we've got the next bit down, the brakes come off, and this basically lines up directly in the center there, and you'll see what's going to happen in a second. You'll see why that is the way it is. And yeah, again, me being my little perfectionist self, I'm sticking it up and down to make sure it sits right, and then back again with Mr. Roller Rolly, just basically, again, air bubbles. Probably heard this 100 times now, but yeah, I'm a bit of a perfectionist. I want to make sure it's good, so I'm rolling that down, making sure it looks good. And then I'm putting in the first sideways luminous strip here. So this basically just lines up along the seam of the excess grip tape that we've popped at the back, and because we've already cut it to the right shape and size, it should sit in there nicely. And obviously we've got clear grip tape to cover these bits as well, so there is a slight gap, but you'll see why in a second once I've got the clear grip tape on anyway. So that's the clear grip tape going on now, just over that, and then it'll be the same on the other side. A little bit of roly action, a little bit more roly action, and then the clear grip tape on the other side. Boom, that's down. Let's get the roller out. There's a little bit of a lazy roll actually, I think. Didn't even put it on the axle. But nevertheless, same effect, it's done the job. And let's pop the sides in now. So we're going to basically complete the graphic that we originally had technically on the deck. We've just basically split the graphic up slightly. So there's luminous strips in between the words. And I'm super gassed how this came out. It came to me in a dream, I imagined it, and then we made it reality. So yeah. So I'm just doing a big boy roll now, get everything out, and then now I'm just using, for some reason, scissors instead of the Allen key, to basically just score the edges of the grip tape, so that I can basically peel back everything. So I'm just literally scoring around the whole deck now, making sure that I can get a clean slice. I'm not the greatest at grip taping, so I can't promise you it's going to be the cleanest slice, but we're going to do the best we can. Alright, here we go. I'm going to start slicing a little bit here. And now I've gone straight onto the head tube because it was such horrendous slicing. So yeah, I'm just slicing down the head tube now. I haven't really got the sharpest blade. You should probably try and use a fresh blade every single time you grip, or at least a sharpened one, so that way you get nice clean cuts, but obviously be careful not to cut yourself. Try not to cut towards yourself as well. Always try and cut away from yourself. And get help if you need it. So right now I'm just scoring around the edges of the welds because I'm trying to get clean welds in here. I'm still using the scissors. I don't even know why. I thought, oh, pointy edge will do the job. But yeah, no, the scissors was alright. So just scoring around the edges of the scissors now, almost like a little artist with a pencil and sort of that kind of thing. Just trying to get them exactly where I want to. Get the scores as deep as I can without tearing the grip tape, basically, so that I can cut it off really nicely and cleanly. Because obviously I've got quite a blunt blade, so I need to make sure that I can get it off cleanly. So now that I've done that, I'm getting it into it with the blade again, starting at the front of the deck, and I'm going to go all the way down the deck on this side because I haven't done this side yet. And then back into the head tube again. I'm basically cutting around it to try and get all the welds cut out nicely. I've gone directly through the head tube all the way to the top of the deck, so yeah, basically I've got to cut all the way in there and make sure that it sits in there nicely as well, which was probably the most difficult part because of the way this head tube is. It's quite hard to judge exactly how much grip tape needs to go inside the head tube to make sure that it sits there nicely, especially with the luminous strip and all that, but we got it there eventually. So yeah, so now basically just using an excess sheet of grip tape, an excess bit of grip tape, just to basically file off the edges. This basically just means that it sort of sits on the side of the deck there, so that there's less chance of it peeling up or getting caught by dirt or someone else taking it off sort of thing. So you basically just file around the whole way and then it lets it sit there. I've just cut out the back section and basically poked the brake holes through. I'm doing a little bit more sanding down again with the grip tape. Brake holes coming out, brakes going back on. I tell you now, this is probably the most difficult brake I've put on in my whole scootering career. I don't know why they made it like that, but they did. It is what it is. It's a fender brake thing, and it just was hard. But yeah, this is the finished product.